Hey everyone, my name is Barrett Kinchelo. I'm the creator of Pickleball Kitchen, a website, podcast, and YouTube channel dedicated to guiding you through your pickleball journey. And today, I'm here to show you the Onix Outbreak. Okay, so before we get started, about a month ago, Onix reached out to me and asked me to do a review for their newest upcoming paddle, the Onix Outbreak. And of course I said yes. And but I just want to let you know that they sent me a paddle for free just to try out. And they're not paying me to do this or anything like that. So the information I'm going to give you today and my opinion is totally authentic and honest. Don't worry, my priority is you. So having said that, let's take a look at the paddle. All right, so here it is, the Onix Outbreak. Now, what you're seeing is totally real. This is not a hologram from 1994. That is actual real stuff. Now, we're gonna go into what's going on with the face here, but first, in terms of just general specs, it's a pretty standard paddle in terms of its shape, size, dimensions, and so on. 15.5 inches high and 8 inches wide, so just a typical wide body paddle, nothing too special there. 5-inch long handles, so you can see I'm gripping it towards this meaty part of my hand here, so you know, pretty good. This allows you to get a lot of distance between your hand and the center of gravity, so you can really smack the ball nice and good like. A quick word about the grip, because this is one thing that popped up quite often. You can see it pretty well right there. So you see the edge here. So this is a lot like a table tennis handle. The grip, the actual tape on here is quite thin. So you can really feel the edges of the grip when you have it in your hand. So I mean, you can really see it there. You see that? In terms of the material itself, it's a typical polymer honeycomb core. Polymer is what everyone uses these days. No one really uses Nomex or aluminum anymore, but it's the face, right? It's all about the face. What's going on with this checkerboard pattern here? So this checkerboard pattern is something called TeXtreme, and you can see the little logo right there. It's called TeXtreme. Basically, it's like carbon fiber meeting basket weaving, basically. So carbon fiber is carbon atoms that have been stretched out into strands and mixed in with like plastic and resin and stuff like that. It's super strong, super durable, and super lightweight. And that makes for really good pickleball paddles. However, a company in Sweden made this material called TeXtreme, where they have interwoven, like basket weaving almost, these carbon fiber ribbons together into this amazing looking checkerboard pattern. And they were able to flatten out the carbon fiber strands, the filaments, and then weave them together like this to create a really strong material that's much lighter weight. Okay, so they use it for, hockey sticks and tennis rackets and golf clubs and, boats and airplane seats and all sorts of stuff. It's highly useful material because it's so strong and so lightweight. You get the best of both worlds, right? So Onix has decided to use it for a pickleball paddle, and I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99.99% sure, they are the first people to use it. Now, it's kind of cool because it does make a difference in terms of performance, which I'll talk about, but let me zoom in here so you can see the details. So you see this right here? You see that little thing? That's not like a dent in the paddle. Those are the little gaps between the carbon fiber strands, like the ribbons and so on. That's not going to affect your performance, but it gives it this nice sort of authentic look to it. A quick word on the logo as well. They've really upped their game in terms of the visuals. You can feel it on here. You can hear it as well. If you can hear that. Okay. So it has that smooth sort of feeling to it, and it does feel different than the face itself. Again, that's not going to affect your performance. What the rep told me is that the digital print in here actually sinks into the strands of the carbon fiber. So it's not like it's on top of it, it just kind of feels like it, but it's not going to affect your performance. So in general, again, it's a pretty standard paddle, but it's the face that makes all the difference. So let's get into the details about that. Okay, so onto the juicy bits now. The Onix Outbreak has a high amount of wow factor. Okay, and what I mean by that is when I got this paddle in the mail, I opened it up and I looked at it, and of course I was like, whoa, what is this, right? It's visually stunning, of course, but when I took it out onto the courts, that's when it was just like, whoa. And the reason why it's so whoa is because this is probably the spongiest and softest paddle that I have ever felt, ever, in any paddle. Okay, and I've tried, oh my God, I don't even know how many paddles at this point. And that didn't just come from me. I showed this to tons of people throughout this week and the past week. And it was always wow. And that's the word that came out of their mouth, like whoa, right? And it makes sense because every time you hit the ball with this paddle, it feels like almost all of the force is being absorbed by the paddle. It feels, I want to say juicy. I think spongy is probably the best word. But you're probably thinking like, okay, well, if it's so soft, then do you get a lot of power out of it? Now, graphite faces or carbon fiber faces are known for the softness, for that spongy kind of feel. But no, you get plenty of power out of this thing. Now, most of the power that you're going to get in pickleball is through your mechanics, through your body mechanics and so on, your swing and stuff like that. But this doesn't take any power away. The way I like to think about the Onix Outbreak is you get the best of both extremes. The question is, are you able to control those two extremes? So on one end, you have this incredible softness, but on the other end, because of how spongy it feels, you also get a lot of power, but sometimes it's hard to sort of tell how hard you're hitting it because you're not able to feel it in your hand as much. So when I was doing like a power serve, for example, sometimes I would serve them way out. In fact, I served a lot of them way out, but it didn't feel like I did because I couldn't feel the impact of my hand as much. So it takes a little bit of time getting used to. I can sort of imagine why they named this the Onix Outbreak, and because it's all about controlling the outbreak, if you want to think about it that way. Now, as you probably know, weight is one of the most important factors when it comes to choosing a paddle. This one measured in around 8.1. Their weight range is 7.8 to 8.2 if I'm not mistaken, so that's kind of a mid-weight, sort of a mid-weight range, but it's pretty top heavy. So you can really feel it in the head up here. So if you come from tennis, if you love that top heavy feel, you're in good company, definitely. For me, I'm not a top heavy kind of player. I don't like the top heavy sort of feel. However, of course, the top heaviness of the paddle is what gives it a lot of power and a lot of force behind the ball. So in terms of who should get this paddle, really anyone who wants a soft, spongy, yet a paddle that doesn't sacrifice all the power for all of that, this could be a really great option for you. But of course, keep in mind that there are these extremes, right? You do have this incredible softness and this incredible power, but the incredible power comes from the fact that it's hard to feel the strike, the impact in your hand. And so naturally we try to hit it harder because we're thinking to ourselves, oh, I can hardly feel it, right? This paddle is all about controlling the outbreak. You have to control these extremes in order to make it fit for you. So if you get the paddle, keep in mind that it's going to take a little bit of time getting used to it. It's sort of like going from those really thin cores, really thin paddles that were really popular a couple years ago, you know, because no one was making thick cores, and then going to a thick core, it takes a little bit of time getting used to, which is totally natural. So keep that in mind. You're probably gonna hit some serves way out the baseline like I did. Totally normal, just stick with it. I think it could be a really great paddle for you. All right guys, so I hope that was helpful. That is my review of the Onix Outbreak. If you enjoyed it, of course, you can go to pickleballkitchen.com to check out the website. We also have a podcast on iTunes, and of course, we have tons of other videos on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed it, guys, and of course, as usual, I'll see you next time.